What is up, guys? We are live here with the #1 ranked player in the world in Dragon Ball Super, Marcel Russell, and he placed a top 16 finish this weekend playing something super unique. What were you playing, man?
I was playing Iron Valve Trunks Leader.
What is this? What exactly is this?
So this is the new guy from the set. Trunks, just generic attack leader, draw a card, untap 2 when he awakens. But the interesting part is when he awakens, Iron Valve Trunks, if all your energy is blue, you get to untap an energy at the end of your turn, and you also get to untap a 3 or higher blue energy card at the end of your turn.
So why this leader?
I kind of want to try something different, but I really saw a combo I wanted to try out, and I'll tell you about that along the way.
Very cool.
Alright, so first, for cards, we're going to play Flute. Obviously, broken card. Play it while you can. Just generates plus advantage every time you play it with the blue leader. There's so many targets for this in this deck that it always will go off. Next, we got 4 Senzu Beans. Broken since set 1. Defensive and offensive card to untap energy. Very useful in this deck because you always have an energy at the end of your turn, so you're always access to Senzu Bean no matter what. Next, we got our simple weenie cards, little 1-drop Majin Buu and Cronoa. They both do the same effect. This one also shuts off Shugeshes if people are running that still. And it's just really good early game advantage just to cycle through your deck faster and find your key cards. Next, the only negate in our deck, Mafuba. This is an insane card in the meta right now. It's really strong against those mid-range decks that play big threats like that have barrier that you can't really deal with. So we seal them up for 2 turns and we try to win before it comes back off. Next, we got our untap unyielding Trunks guy. This leader has a good hand advantage strategy when you play it, so you have enough resources to extend your plays and use all the cards in your hand. Really good for dumping, because if you're tapped out and you're trying to go for game, you can actually untap mid-combo and keep extending your plays. Next, we got our super combos. Obviously, you need super combos. Broken, obvious. Don't really explain that. Our awakening tool in this deck is going to be Oath Power Tapion. You can take up to 2 cards on your life, send a 5 or less card on your opponent's side of the field to the top of their deck, so it stuns them for a turn. And is a 15k 3-drop blue battle card, which is pretty significant with this effect because you can untap it at the end of your turn. So it's pretty much uninteractable, and you'll always have a beater on the board to attack every turn. Next, we got our defensive Raging Spirit Gohans. Very useful because you always have energy at the untapped at the end of your turn, so you can always have access to using this defensively. And it comes in rest mode. As a flute target. It's 10k power. You can actually reuse it with flute, so it's more like a super combo in that sense because it's a 10k that replaces itself, and it comes back to your hand. And it also untaps at the end of your turn if you use it offensively, because your leader again untaps 3 or higher blue cards. So you always have a beater on the board, which this deck really relies on board advantage. So those swap decks, you try to beat them out by playing a lot of these and just killing their weenies. And once you establish board dominance, you kind of just slowly win the game through the grind. Speaking of grind, we got our ultimate grind card, Vegito from the ultimate box. When this card's in rest mode, your leader is pretty much immune to damage until they deal with this card. So you just drop one of these on turn 4 and you sit on it. You don't untap it because you do get the choice to untap a card, but you can choose 0, so you don't have to worry about that. But you can still untap an energy, which means you're safe. You can tap out on turn 4 and it will untap you anyways. And you just sit on Vegito the whole rest of the game and grind out your opponent until you win. That's our supporting cards, not blue. Try not to try to use this energy, obviously, or else it'll make your ability useless. Unbreakable Goku's just another super combo, but use them sparingly because they do cost an energy to use. And 3 double strike Champas. This is very useful for closing out the game. I use it mostly every game to win. Try to get my opponent to 2 life, or sometimes I even go from 4 to 2, 2 to 0 in one turn. With all the combo power that you have in this deck, it's pretty easy. And this is how you finish a match every time. Our overrun cards is going to be Supreme Kai of Time, Light Guide, and Scientist Fu. A 2-2 split. This one's way stronger, but you can only get it late game. This one is a little bit early to mid game. You should use this and Fluter back to just generate card advantage and advantage in board state. Because usually you buff up your leader to 20k with this card, attack, they combo into a 10k card, maybe a combo Gohan, and then you have this to attack into it afterwards. And it's a 0 cost card, so like, you can do it when you tapped out and surprise your opponent with another battle card to attack. And that's the main deck. I'm gonna show you the side deck now. For all those 1-2 swap decks, to stop their Bardock from having swap, you can play Group Leader Peel-Off. When they attack, you choose the Bardock and you remove swap, so they can't do it for the rest of the turn. And then you just trade into it next turn because it's in rest mode. The main card in this deck I always swapped into in game 2s was this card. Sneak Attack Vegeta. This is the best card to use with this leader currently in the format, because what it does is whenever it attacks the enemy leader, it makes them send a card from their hand to the top of their deck, which is pretty much what Hyrule does at 4 energy. But at the end of your turn, you restand it, and it has barriers, so your opponent really can't interact with it. So essentially, you just made your leader Hyrule on like turn 3, but you also get the benefit of untapping energy at the end of your turn. So it's the best of both worlds between like SS3 and Hyrule. Like, you're a mixture of both leaders. Next, we had more overrun cards, just to have choices in your sideboard throughout the day. When your opponent doesn't run any negates, or they have like Vegetos that you just need high base damage to kill, I played Mirror Creator Absorb. It won me a lot of games from people who just didn't expect it, and it just let me get them to 2 life so I could kill them with a double strike Trompa attack. Dimensional Banisher Fu was really good in the 1-2 swap matchup, because you could kill their like Bardock Ape that they tried to untap at the end of their turn and keep going for phase. So like they lost that huge advantage swing and put it into your favor. The last card, just in case of going against a green or yellow leader, Haru. It's just there, just in case like when against an Android player or something like that. I didn't end up actually using it, but it would destroy the matchup. So this combined with Cronoa destroys any yellow matchup that I would ever have. And it's neutral colored, so it's fine.
Fantastic. Anything else you want to say about the event, the deck, anything like that?
I was going to say I need to work a little bit more on it. I'm thinking it's going to be really good next set with the new 1-drop pin that they revealed. But yeah, the event was really great. It ran really smooth at the Richmond Regional by PPG. All I can say is really a lot of fun, and I'm glad I went out there.
And you wanted to go a little bit in depth on this deck and do some deck text and actually some play with this deck too, right?
Yeah, I'll show a more in-depth analysis about this deck on the Patreon. I'll make a big long video to explain the intricacies of the deck and how you're supposed to play it and all that stuff.
Because when you look at the deck, it looks really weird, and even when he showed it to me, I was like, I think you're making a mistake playing this deck. But then you just kept winning and winning and winning, and it was just insane. So congrats on playing a unique leader, especially in a stale meta. A lot of people don't like you because there's no diversity. Well, you proved them all wrong.
Diversity right here.
So congrats again on the top. Hope to see you in Atlanta September 29th, guys. It's going to be a great time. We'll see you then. Bye, man.